Huge moments for one rookie, a predictable outcome for one veteran. In Friday's loss to the Rays, this is Locked on Cardinals.
You are Locked on Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast. Part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, Cardinals fans. I'm JD Hafford, and I'm your host for Locked on Cardinals, part of the Locked on Podcast Network, covering your team every day. You can follow me on X at JD Sports Radio, the podcast available on X at LO_Cardinals. We're on YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram at Locked on Cardinals. This is a show serving Cardinal Nation and giving you all the info about the birds on the bat. Today's episode being brought to you by 5 Hour Energy. Enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for two to any golf tournament in the USA. Visit 5HEWin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Excludes the Masters tournament. Ends October 31st, 2025. So the Cardinals took 2 of 3 in Miami and then took game 1 of their series against the Rays on Thursday night before taking the same field on Friday night. So they took it on Thursday. I got my days all confused because it's weird that we have a day off on a Saturday, so I'm doing a podcast on a Saturday. But they get the win on Thursday night. Take the same field on Friday night. Now, before the series with the Rays started, I warned all of you about the effects that this particular ballpark has on people. Georgia Steinbrenner Field, normally just the home of the Yankees during spring training, and then their single-A affiliate team from Tampa. And even though it has the same dimensions as Yankee Stadium, it's 318 to left, 314 to right, 408 to center. You combine that with the airflow that goes on down there in Tampa. The lack of a third deck is a big deal because there's not as much resistance out there. And you get some pretty wild offensive games. I mentioned that both Thursday and Friday starters, Sonny Gray and Miles Mikolas, might have some issues there. Considering how many home run balls that these two guys give up. And so far, I kind of nailed it. Right on the button there. Now, Sonny gave up just the 1 home run in the 3rd inning to Yandy Diaz. But the difference between that home run and, what was going on in the second game was that the Cardinals were actually up 5-1 at the time of the home run took place. It didn't feel like the end of the world when Sonny Gray's home run was given up. Well, Miles Mikolas gave the team on Friday was little to nothing to help the team win or even compete in the game. The fact that it was only a 1-run game in the 7th inning had nothing to do with the pitching. It had everything to do with the offense. It was a testament to the offense for not quitting when things got ugly and the team was down 7-1 at one point. And when you play in a ballpark like this, which is, it's similar to your normal major league fields that are good for offense, right? Coors Field in Colorado, Fenway in Boston, Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. Even though a lead might look big, you can never really count a team out. You still got to bear down and make sure you dot all your I's and cross all your T's. So even when the boys got down 7-1 in the 4th inning, you didn't want to, at least I didn't want to immediately dismiss them because I've seen crazy things happen in that ballpark watching Tampa Bay Rays games this season. I witnessed it watching these games. But at the same time, you knew it was going to take one hell of a comeback to win. But, being down big that late early in the game, it wasn't really surprising to me at all. In fact, I warned you about it. I expected it. There wasn't a fiber in my being that thought that Miles Mikolas was not going to get shelled in this game. Terrible, terrible matchup for Miles Mikolas to ever put him in that ballpark. He's been one of the most hittable pitchers in baseball over the last 3 seasons. Every time he takes the mound, it could be fireworks for the opponent. And more times than not, the other team has a pretty solid day offensively against him. And to put him in that environment just spelled certain doom. And that's exactly what the Cardinals got. It only took 2 batters, 2, before he gave up a nuke to Brandon Lau for a home run. And in Mikolas' defense, it wasn't even that bad of a pitch. It really wasn't. But low and into a lefty, that's a tough spot to go. And Lau didn't miss it. The dimensions in Tampa honestly didn't matter on this one. That thing would have been out of every ballpark, including Yosemite. 428, 110 off the bat, nuke. Just left a vapor trail to right field. And it could have been 2-0. It could have been worse there if not for Pozo throwing out Simpson, who tried to steal third base. He stole it easily. Had the bag stolen, ends up sliding past the bag, and they keep the tag on him, and he ends up being out. But Mikolas gives up 4 hits in the inning. Granted, 2 of them were infield singles. But he struggles to punch people out. He doesn't get swing and miss. So this is what happens. And he's lucky that the Mangum double on that hanging Ephus curveball that he threw went over the wall on a bounce, because that would have been a run as well. So he wasn't fooling a whole lot of people, although, again, the 2 infield singles, just little dribblers, it's got to piss you off. Like, I remember as a pitcher, it pissed me off when that would happen, because you won the battle. They didn't hit the ball hard. You fooled them, and they still get on base. So that sucks for Miles. And, you hear it all the time. Soft contact hits against Miles Mikolas. It's because he doesn't have enough to get the swing and miss. He's one hell of a pitcher. If these dribblers and dinkers that fall in on Mikolas were strikeouts instead. But the Cardinals, they go on to tie it up in that second inning on a 2-out single by Joel Pozo. But bottom half, you get another throwing error by Nolan Gorman, which just keeps happening to put the leadoff guy on. That's 7 errors now on Gorman, 5 in August now that he's playing more, and I think 6 of them are throwing errors. There's a problem there. And I know it was a play where it was a slow roller and he was trying to rush it and threw it away. I get that. It wasn't like your basic routine throw over to first base, but at the same time, we've been so spoiled over the years with such great play at third base that now you've got somebody who is below average when it comes to defense, and it shows. Next hitter smoked one at Newton left field, and then the next hitter smoked one over the wall and right, making it 3-1. 7 of the first 10 guys got on base or hit a home run against Mikolas. Third inning, just more of the same. Infield single, again, annoying, not his fault. Single, double steal to move to second and third. An infield single with the infield end that Mason can't handle. It's to his right. Hit good. Infield's in, makes it look worse. He can't handle it, makes it 4-1. They then picked the runner off first base, which was nice. But then another single makes it 5-1. He walks Gray, and that's when Ali comes out. He's like, that's enough. That's enough. And it really, really looked disgusting in Tampa Bay last night. Like, everybody's uniforms were just drenched. Tampa Bay was wearing the black, so it wasn't as easy to see them, but all of the Cardinals uniforms, everybody, the upper torsos for sure, all of this just dark gray from the sweat and the humidity, like a rainforest, just disgusting. Been a tough summer for weather for where the Cardinals play, but it was obvious things weren't going to get any better for Miles Mikolas, so Ali pulled him after 58 pitches, 2 2/3 innings, 5 runs, 4 of them earned, 10 hits, 2 home runs. 4 of those hits were infield singles, which, again, very annoying. I get it. Not his fault. 1 walk, 1 K. Honestly, I expected more home runs to actually be hit off Mikolas, is what I thought was going to happen, but Ali pulled the plug before that could happen. Another good stat from Rob Brains at STLSportsPage.com. In his 13 road starts this season, Mikolas has now allowed 45 earned runs in 59 2/3 innings. That's an ERA of 6.79. That's terrible. Opponents have posted a .327 batting average against Mikolas in those games with 17 home runs. He has now allowed 23 home runs on the season. That's 4th most in the National League. His ERA is back up to 5.17, which, if he was qualified, would tie him for 5th worst in the National League, tied with Andre Palante. That's not a good sign, Cardinals, when you got 2 of them in the top 5. Hitters are batting .278 against him on the season, which, again, if he was qualified, would be the worst in the National League. His strikeouts per 9, if qualified, would be the lowest in the National League. And mentioning Andre Palante, that's kind of the sad part here, is his name is littered littered throughout the same stats with similar numbers that are just as horrible as Miles Mikolas. So you've not only got Miles, but you got Miles Part 2 and Andre Palante. And then remember, you had Eric Fetty doing similar crap the whole year. So 3 of your 5 starters have been awful, just awful. The rotation is just drenched in the stench of these guys. One of them's already gone. Mikolas should be gone after the season. And then there's Palante, last man standing, who under no circumstances should be handed a spot next season at all. And if they don't find people who are good enough to compete with him for a spot in that rotation, then shame on the organization. Shame on you. We're going to talk about the bullpen because they didn't have much luck either in this one. But we'll talk some positives about the offense as well, including a big night for the rookie, Nathan Church. That's coming up on Locked On Cardinals. Time to fuel up and turn it up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. This grape, ginger, and lime-flavored shot brings the iconic taste of a golf course favorite to a non-alcoholic boost. Now, perhaps it's perfect for, sinking birdies. That's something you're out there doing, making great memories with friends, or you could just be going through life. It's a hole-in-one for your energy game, that's for sure. Whether you're out on the course and just need a little extra push to get through the day, 5-Hour Energy Transfusion, get one. Delivers the clubhouse flavor you love without ever leaving the green. Golf is about good times with good people and good flavors. Life should be the same. Let's make good memories. The grape, ginger, lime flavor of 5-Hour Energy Transfusion gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without leaving the course or chasing down that bev cart, which never seems to be around when you want it, right? Now you can amp up the fun even more. Just buy, snap, and enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip for 2 to any golf tournament in the USA. Tee up that trip by visiting 5HE, so it's FIVEHEWIN, 5HEWin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Excludes the Masters tournament. Ends October 31st, 2025. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. Leave your comments on YouTube as well as on X or TikTok anytime you want. Your feedback always welcome and encouraged. Now, Mikolas was not the only one. I don't want to just keep picking on him. I hate doing it, but Mikolas was the only one who had any issues on the mound on Friday. The whole staff struggled. The Tampa Bay Rays pitching staff struggled a little bit as well. Anthony Veneziano comes in that third inning, but big no-no. Walks the leadoff hitter in the next inning. Junior Caminero leading off that fourth. He ends up hitting Josh Lau. And then a 2-run double, and boom, 7-1. He was much better after that. I will give him credit. My thing is, though, is what do you expect? They grabbed this dude off waivers. All right, if he was all that good, he wouldn't have been available on waivers. So to see him have a little bit of jitters, maybe, in that fourth inning, pitching for the Cardinals, but then to settle down, get his mind right, ended up pitching better after that. Ryan Fernandez comes in next, finishes off that sixth inning, but right after the Cardinals offense too, and this sucked. Right after the Cardinals offense worked so hard to get it back within 1 run to make it 7-6 and get back in this thing, Fernandez just says, well, let's throw a little gasoline on this fire, shall we? And what does he do? Big no-no, walks the leadoff hitter, and then serves up one of the fattest and meatiest fastballs that you'll see to rookie Carson Williams. 91 miles an hour, right down the middle, just right down the chute. A gift, if you will, for the rookie in his first game, and he ends up blasting it over the center field wall for a 2-run home run. Extinguishes any comeback flame that had been burning for the Cardinals, because you work so hard, you get right up to the top of the mountain, getting ready to reach the top, and then you slide right back down. And it had to be very deflating to the team for that to happen. You'd have trouble putting on a tee any better than that pitch was from Ryan Fernandez. That was just a meatball. Then in the 9th inning, Junior Caminero pops one off of Jorge Alcala, who tried to fool him with that big bender and did not. at all. All in all, the Cardinals pitching staff allows 10 runs on 16 hits, 4 home runs, 7 total extra base hits. They give up 3 stolen bases, although things got convoluted there because they picked off 2 guys, but Simpson outran the pickoff play, so he ended up being safe for the stolen base even though they picked him off. He also got thrown out after stealing a base and sliding past third base, if you remember. So that kind of evened out, I guess. But the Tampa Bay Rays run. They do. They're a very good running team. So not shocking that they would swipe some bags against Cardinals, who at least eyeball test sucks at holding runners on. Just a really rough night for the pitching staff, and it happens in that ballpark. I'm not angry about it. It was just expected with Mikolas on the mound. I wasn't expecting it to be a pitcher's duel by any means. The Cardinals scored 7 on Thursday. They get 6 more on Friday, so it's not like the offense hasn't been doing well. They hit pretty good in Miami as well, outside of the game against Sandy Alcantara. It was just a special night for Nathan Church, which was cool to see. If we're going to talk some positives, Church, who got his first major league hit and first major league home run in this one, laced a single to left field in the 5th inning for the hit. Great piece of hitting there. Then in the Cardinals' big 7th inning where they, just come back. He was the catalyst there. You get the single by Jordan Walker, and then it was Church who launched that 414-foot nuke to right field to make the score 7-4, and that's when the momentum, it started to creep and kind of roll into the Cardinals' favor. I don't have a lot of bad things to say about Nathan Church so far in this lineup. I mean, he's been nice. He's been a nice piece. I know it's taken him a while before the offensive numbers started to roll, but he's been kind of a gritty player in that lineup thus far. Former 11th round pick, so it's not like this is first-round talent that you're working with. It wasn't like there's a whole lot expected out of Nathan Church when he was drafted and signed. But he's got some tools. He's got great wheels, runs very, very well, solid defensive player. And he was hitting .336 in Memphis over 29 games. And, people are starting to chirp a little bit about his contact skills and how good they are. So with Victor and Donnie out, why not Nathan Church in center field? He wasn't originally in the lineup for this game either because Alec Burleson was out. We'll get more to that in just a second. But why not? Let him play. Ivan Herrera hits a 2-out single to continue the rally, and then it was Wilson Contreras who, he's on some kind of heater right now, man. The dude can barely run. If you notice, he's got to hit home runs because it looks so uncomfortable watching him run around the bases, after getting hit by a pitch on that foot. Kept him out a few days. It's clearly bothering him. So, watching Wilson Contreras be out there for this team right now, you got to respect that. The guy's a gamer. He loves his team, and despite them being under 500, my guy's out there as a veteran doing what he can to help the team, and he blasts one over that right field wall to make it 7-6. And all of a sudden, we got a game. Now we got a game. Unfortunately, as we know already, the bullpen couldn't hold the Rays down long enough to overcome that deficit. They go on to lose the game 10-6. Willie was 2 for 5, hit his 19th home run of the season, 3 straight games that he's hit a home run, that he's gone yard. Church, 2 for 4, 2 RBIs with that first hit and first home run for his major league career. So hopefully the proverbial monkey is off his back and he can relax a little more in the box. Newt was 0 for 5 at the top of the order. And as I've always said, if Newt's your leadoff hitter, the team goes as Newt goes normally. So despite scoring 6 runs in this game, not having Newt on base, hardly, 0 for 5, that's going to do some damage. So as I mentioned, Alec Burleson originally in this starting lineup had to be scratched late due to some wrist soreness, apparently, after an awkward swing in Thursday's game. So hopefully he'll be good to go with a couple days off, not playing Friday, game off today, or day off today on Saturday. They'll be finishing up that series on Sunday. So maybe we'll see Alec Burleson in the lineup on Sunday because they'll face Ryan Pepiot, who is a right-hander. And people are wondering, and they were asking, it just kept popping up, why do they have a day off on Saturday? It's very weird. I understand that. The answer is the NFL. The NFL is your answer. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a preseason game The ballpark is right across the street from their stadium. So I guess it's a parking thing, maybe just a space thing. I don't know what all the rules are when it comes to who gets what and when, but they were like, well, we'll cater to you, NFL. You're the cream of the crop, so we'll let you take over. So you get the off day on Saturday, and as I mentioned, it's no biggie. You get a day off, so what? So they're back at it on Sunday. Matthew Liberatore will be on the hill against Ryan Pepio. We'll do a quick run through on what's going on around the division and the league and the playoff picture. We'll do all of that coming up next on Locked On Cardinals. Thanks again for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the Locked On MLB Game Night. It's every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. You can find MLB Game Night on the Locked On MLB YouTube channel or wherever you listen to your podcasts. So following this loss on Friday, the Cardinals find themselves at 64-66. An embarrassing 17 and a half games back in the division because the Brewers just have been amazing. But 5 games back in the wild card, so that doesn't look so bad. And then 3.5 back of the Reds, who lost in extra innings last night to Arizona. If there's going to be any progress made for the rest of the season, I have no, dreams of making the playoffs at this point. That would be great, but I'm not thinking about that anymore. I just want to catch Cincinnati in the division. I really do. As you know, if you're an everydayer, I'm married to a Cincinnati Reds fan, not a Cardinals fan. And life is tough when the Reds are doing better than the Cardinals. So I don't want to hear this stuff anymore. So do me a solid, Cardinals. Let's overtake the Reds at least before the end of the season. And I may or may not have some money riding on the Cardinals, having more wins than them. So that would be nice too. Might have a small wager on that. So that'd be great. The Brewers walked it off against the Giants on a William Contreras home run, Willie's brother. The Cubs, who just won 3 of 5 from Milwaukee at Wrigley, they beat the Angels 3-2. Cubs are still 7 back of the Brewers. And unless the Brewers go into the crapper, which doesn't seem like it's something that's going to happen, I don't know how Chicago is going to catch them. So it sounds like wild card city for the Cubbies. So they just got to kind of stay the course. In the NL West, the Padres beat the Dodgers 2-1. So they're tied again at the top of the division. Phillies and Mets are the top 2 teams in the East, but Philly is up by 6 games after the Mets second half struggles. And, when we talk about the Cardinals not spending money and we get all worked up about it, and that's rightfully so. Like, they've got money. They're just not spending it. But isn't it wild to go and look at the New York Mets struggling again with the payroll that they're putting out there? You sign Juan Soto to that ungodly amount of money and that massive deal. They re-signed Pete Alonso. They got one of the best shortstops in the league in Francisco Lindor. You've had good seasons from Brandon Nimmo. You still got the veteran Starling Marte is on that team as well. I think he still offers some good depth. They make a trade for Cedric Mullins from the Baltimore Orioles to help their outfield. Mark Vientos has been a big disappointment for them. Then you go to the bullpen, and they made all those moves at the deadline, like acquiring Ryan Helsley from the St. Louis Cardinals, and he has had a really tough go with the Mets so far. Gregory Soto they brought in, again, for the Baltimore Orioles, 2 separate trades. They got Tyler Rogers from San Francisco. You've got Edwin Diaz as your closer. That's a pretty good stable of arms out in the bullpen. Then you've got in the starting rotation, a rotation that, remember, at the beginning of the year was really good, like really good, and was leading the charge for them early on in the season, and they've fallen off. But, you got names like Kodai Senga, Clay Holmes, Sean Manaea, David Peterson is having a really good year. And for all of those names and all of that talent and all of that money to not click the way you want them to, got to be really, really frustrating for Mets fans. They still got time to right the ship and get things going in the right direction, but that's got to be a huge disappointment. They're still in the wild card. I make it sound like as if they're in last place or something like that. They're not. But when you have a payroll of $300 million and you're not in first place, I would be upset. Dodgers are in the same boat right now. Dodgers won a championship, though, last year, so you're not going to get all mad at that. They're still in first place, technically, after losing to the Padres last night, but I'm sure they're a bit annoyed about the way things are going and how they've performed. They've dealt with a lot of injuries. That starting rotation has just been shredded by injuries. Roki Sasaki, they got Blake Snell back now. He pitched in last night's game and pitched well. Tyler Glass now had been out with injuries for most of the season. You're getting Shohei Ohtani in the rotation again. The bullpen has just been wiped out by injuries as well. So that's been the tougher. I make it sound like I feel sorry for him. I don't. I don't. With the shenanigans they're pulling with all of the money being deferred down the road and stuff, which I think is horrible. But it ain't clicking for them the way they wanted it to. The Cardinals took 4 of 6 from the Dodgers this year. You didn't see that coming, did you? But it's just an observation. It's all just an observation. All right. Enjoy the Saturday off. Have fun. I'm going to go watch some football and have myself a day. Sunday's game is going to be an early one, 11:10 St. Louis start. So brunch and baseball? Anyone? Sounds good to me. We'll see if they can get a second straight series win with a victory in that one. Matthew Liberatore, maybe another Matthew Liberatore revenge game against the team that drafted him and traded him. We don't get a lot of revenge games on our side of things. Usually it's revenge games against the Cardinals. Maybe we get another one from Libby on Sunday. Thanks for making Locked on Cardinals your first listen every day. If you haven't already, give us a follow on X at LO_Cardinals and at JD Sports Radio, TikTok, and Instagram at Locked on Cardinals. Like, subscribe on YouTube. You're the best fans in baseball for a reason. We'll see you next time on Locked on Cardinals.